It was a collector that I bought it from, and he said he had bought up a duplicate. A lot of people do that a lot. If you don't have a list, you tend to buy duplicates and you already have something, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll just sell that one, or whatever. You keep the better of the two and sell off the other one. Anyway, he was asking 10 for it, and I talked him down to 8, so he was willing to do that, so that was really cool. This is about maybe a $12 to $15 game at least, so not a bad deal for $8. I was really happy to get that, so that's cool. Another game to add to the GameCube collection. Alright, and these aren't in chronological order of how I picked them up throughout the day, by the way. It's just kind of hard to, remember that back in time because there's so much games and stuff to worry about that I can't remember when and what time I picked it up, but you guys get the idea. It all came from the same convention and everything, so anyway, these two games, I do remember this. This was at the very end of the day when the convention was, pretty much closing down. And this kid was walking around trying to sell his last 2 GameCube games. And no one had bought them throughout the whole weekend, which was crazy. And I'm kind of surprised because these are pretty hard to find titles, or at least they're popular enough. And he was asking $30 for the 2, and I decided to pass on them just because, I looked at them, they didn't look too good. I was like, I don't know, I usually don't buy games without manuals and stuff, which these are missing the manuals. But anyways, he was about ready to leave, and I had second thoughts about it. I walked up to him and was like, hey bud, I'll give you 25 and we'll call it good, and he's like, alright, I'm fine with 25 bucks. So I bought these 2 games for 25 bucks, which is really cool. One of them I'll keep. It's really, really destroyed, but I'll upgrade it later, and the other one I already have. So the first one I have here is really cool. It's Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg on GameCube. And that one, like I said, it's missing the manual, but he stuck a Nintendo Club, like a Wii pamphlet in there, which is kind of funny. But anyways, it's got the disc. The disc is in really good shape, and it's not too scratched. The only problem is it's got some water damage, if you can see on the top there, and like along the bottom and like the sides and stuff. And then GameStop, of course, always they put their stickers on the insert, so that'll never come off unless you want to destroy it. And then it's just got some fading and stuff too. It's got sun fading spots and everything. So this game has seen better days. But for now, I'm happy to have it, and I can always upgrade it later. So there's always room for that. So anyways, there's that one. And then this one was cool. I had to take it over to Games Ahoy to get it resurfaced because they have the disc resurfacing machine. And it costs about $3 to do that, so I wasn't too worried about that. But that game right here that I had resurfaced is Luigi's Mansion, and it is player's choice. I already have this one complete, so I wasn't worried about that. So I basically bought it to resell. But again, it is missing the manual. But the disc now looks brand new, which is cool, so I can sell that one off pretty well. People love looking at, and playing, brand new looking discs and stuff, so, like myself. So if it's, looking good, and it'll sell better, so that's very cool. Alright, then, during the day, along the day on Sunday, I found this. This guy was getting ready to pack up, and he was leaving like a few hours before the convention was getting ready to close, because there is spaces where you don't have to pay to set up. You can just come in and set up your stuff. You don't have to sign up to do it or anything. So this guy was doing that, and anyways, he was leaving a few hours early, and I'm glad I asked him before he was getting ready to pack everything up. And I was like, hey, how much is that over there? He's like, oh, I couldn't get it to work. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I couldn't figure it out. I paid 10 bucks for it, so I want to sell it for 10 bucks. And so he sold it to me what he paid for it. And I'm really glad I bought it because it is very, very, very clean. But we have a first model Super Nintendo. And the reason I mean very first model is it has the lockout clip there, so the game wouldn't come out if you try to pull it out when the system's still on. Later on they just put the sticker on the front, you know what I mean, if you've been collecting and playing long enough. But anyway, this was a little dirty, but I cleaned it up, and it looks very, very crystal white. Like, I mean, this thing is clean. I'm really happy. There's no chips or dings in it, really. So I'm going to swap this out with my play console because this one actually works. I don't know what was up, but he could not get this to work. And I plugged in Donkey Kong Country like I have currently set up, and it worked for me first try. So I can guess that his console, or his chords that he had, were just off. Like, they were really bad chords or something, because this thing worked for me right away. I could just tell by looking at the pins and everything, it looked really clean. So I don't know what his chords were doing or what his problem was, but his stuff just did not make this console work for him. So anyways, $10 for a Super Nintendo, guys. I could not complain at all. So that was really cool, especially from a convention from another game collector. I really was happy to find that, so that's cool. And then this one, a story goes along with this. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll go ahead and do it anyway. So if you guys are, trying to take a nap by now, I understand. But anyways, I'll go ahead and explain how I got this. All right, so me and Tyler, we were looking through this one guy's booth. And Tyler will show his games, these games in a little bit here after I stop rambling. But we were looking through these PS2 games, and this one kid, well, I guess he was maybe 17 or 18. He was, about my age, a little bit less. But anyways, he walks up, he's looking around. Tyler and I pull out this one game, Mega Man X Collection, is that what it was? Mm-hmm. On PS2, mint condition disc and manual. It was in an aftermarket case, of course, but, I always have plenty of those, so I could have swapped it. Anyways, the guy was asking $5 for this game, so I was really happy. I was stoked. I wanted to buy this game, so I did. I bought it. And as soon as I pulled that game out, the guy next to me, the one I was talking about, he's like, "Ooh, I've been looking for that game." And I'm like, "Oh no, oh man." And he was really, really excited, and he was jumping around, and he was so stoked to see that I had pulled that out. And you know what he does? He's like, "I'll give you $15 for that game." And I'm like, I don't know, I really want this, man. I really want this game. He's like, "I will give you $15 for this game." And I'm like, alright. And then, at first he thought it was for the GameCube, because he was talking about how he played it on GameCube, but then the guy that sold it to me, he was like, "Oh, that's for PS2. And he's like, "Oh, man." And then he's like, "Alright, I'll give you 10 since it's for PS2. I was like, "I can't. I really want to hang on to it if you're going to give me 10 for it." And he's like, "Alright, I'll give you 15. And so he walked over to my booth. I had a PS2 for sale for $35, which is a great deal, by the way. Because, a lot of places around here ask like 50 for them, which is ridiculous. Anyways, he walks over. He's like, "Alright, now that I bought this from you, you have to sell me a PS2 for a good deal." And I was like, alright. He's like, if you sell that PS2 for $25, I'll let you keep, I'll keep the game and you sell the PS2 to me for $25. So I did that. So I sold it to him for $25 because I paid like $15 for the PS2 anyway, so I wasn't too worried about it. So I ended up selling it to him for $25, but in the end I counted he had an extra dollar in there, so I basically sold the PS2 for $26. So anyways, I made $10 off of a game that wasn't even mine originally. I mean, I owned that game for like 2 minutes maybe, but then I sold it for $10, so I made $10 like off of somebody else's game. So what I did was I took that $10 and $10 of my own, and I bought this game. So this is where I can come into this now, and it'll make more sense now. This was $20. It had a really bad crack back, but I kind of switched it out. It looks a little bit better. But we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, which is really cool. Works very nicely. It does have the one clip there it's missing, and then the back before was all cracked and like somebody stepped on it. That's how bad it looked. But I plugged it in. It worked first try. As a matter of fact, I tested on that Super Nintendo that was supposedly broken. So anyway, so I can say I paid $10 for this game because I sold a game that I did not own. I sold someone else's game basically and got $10 for that. So I put that $10 immediately towards this one. So basically I got Zelda for $10. So anyways, sorry I had to explain that whole story just to make sense of this purchase. So sorry for that if you got bored of that story. But anyway, so yeah, $10 for Link to the Past was a very good deal. I could not complain one bit. It will be needing to get an upgrade because the clip bugs me and it looks ugly. I'm just like that. I don't know why. But for now, at least I have a copy that I can play, so that's really cool. So I'll go ahead and stick that into the Super Nintendo. Alright, Tyler, you want to go ahead and show those games now that we were on that subject of that one booth that one guy was selling?
Alright. So we got 2 PS2 games first here.
Yeah, well, he's got... Alright, so what we did is Tyler saw these 2 games, I bought them, and then there's 3 PS3 games that he bought with his own money, but that'll go into the collection that we share anyway. So, anyways, he'll go ahead and show this 2 PS2 games first.
First one here is Neo Geo Battle Coliseum.
It's in very good shape.
That's complete.
It's a really cool, I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's a really good style, I guess, battle style game, but it's in really good shape, which is really cool to find that there. That was $5.
And the other one is Shadow of the Colossus.
Greatest Hits.
It is missing the manual, I think.
Yeah, it's missing the manual, unfortunately, but I already own it Black Label. I just recently picked that up not too long ago. But that one was $5 as well, so not bad at all, which is really cool.
And then I picked up these 3 PS3 games for $20.
I think weren't they? How much did he want? Didn't he want like $10 each or
yeah.
3 for 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So if you buy 2, you got 1 free, basically.
All right, here we go. The first one here is A Realm Unborn.
A Realm Reborn.
Reborn, excuse me.
That one is a Final Fantasy. That's 16.
16.
I went no 14. Right? I don't. Oh my god.
I don't know. No. Yeah.
Roman numerals. Oh my god.
But it's the online one.
Yeah, you get the idea. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
All right.
4. I'm thinking. Yeah, it's 14.
14.
That's the 14 one. I just looked over at my Grand Theft Auto 4 thing, and I saw the Roman numerals. So yeah, 10 X and IV. That's 14. So.
All right.
Oh my god. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Far Cry 4. Oh yeah, by the way, this one is complete.
Yeah, that one's complete. Well, the thing is, I think. Well, wait a minute. Is this the one? Yeah, this one's got the manual. One of them I don't think has the manual. Which that one. It's got the original Walmart receipt from whenever the game came out. But
these I don't think these actually came with manuals. I think it's the back of the insert.
Yeah, I think the back of the insert, like inside the case, is the actual insert. They were trying to save trees. So
yeah.
And now I think a lot of games that you buy, the instruction manual's on the actual disc. Like when you turn it on. And you can just, if you want to read the manual, you can click on a separate section and you can read it that way. Anyway.
And then the other one is Metal Gear Solid HD Collection,
which is really cool. That one is
awesome.
That
one is 100% complete as well.
In very good shape. That one was really cool to see in there as well. So very cool. $20 for those 3. You cannot complain. So that was very, very cool. All right, and then these 2 little things. Well, not little, but you kind of get the idea. But the first one here. Me and Tyler both got one of these. These are going to be souvenirs. We're going to hang on to these. Our vendor badges that we got. So Tyler has one. He's not going to show his because they both look the exact same. So, yeah. Anyways, you get the idea. We each have one of these. So there's our vendor tag. That's what we had for when we were setting up there. Because I bought a $50 exhibitor's space. So that's so I could have better, positioning on the floor, on the cell floor, and everything else like that. So there's that. Very cool. And then me and Tyler both got one of these. They're both the same color, same style. And they ran out of our sizes of the other colors that we were more interested in, but that's okay. These are still cool. They gave these away because they had so many left over. But we have here a VinCon T-shirt, Vintage Video Game Convention 2016 T-shirt, which is really cool. This is their cool design, guys. They designed this. Adam designed this himself, which is really cool. And then they have the Games Ahoy logo on the back, so that's what you guys can see. That's what our game store's logo looks like, which is really, really cool. I love the VinCon style. It's got like that 8-bit style lettering and everything, which is really, really cool. So I was really excited that that Adam was giving those away at the end, because that was really nice of him to give away T-shirts to all the sellers that attended the entire convention. So that was very cool. Alright, now we're done with all of the convention stuff. So now we can move into what I picked up while Tyler was at school. I could pick up during the week while I rode my bike, drove my car, whatever I did. I went to ARC and Goodwill like almost every day this past week. So it tended to be a little bit of a success. I mean, there's nothing exciting, but still it worked out. So, alright, on Monday, I went and I found 2 sets of cords here. These were bundled together because they knew what they were, I guess. They knew that these were video game console cords. But they were bundled at $1.99 each. So that's $1 a cord because it's a set of 2. But what we have here is a set of PS2 Slim cords, the power brick, and the AV cables. You can never go wrong with too many of those. Those are always helpful, so that's that. And then I've got a power and AV set for the original Xbox, which I was needing to look for. I didn't have an AV for a Xbox, and I was just using a generic, power plug for the Xbox. So now I have the official set for the Xbox, so that's very cool. They did have the Xbox there. It was $9.99, but I asked if I could test it, and I did. I took it to the back. They had a testing strip where you could plug in everything that you want to test, and it was making a really loud, funky clicking sound, and it just didn't sound, appealing to me. So I decided to pass on it. Even though it was going to be like half off this weekend anyway, I just didn't want to worry about it. So anyways, I got the cords for it. So $4 for 4 cords, you can't complain. That was a really good deal.